Hey everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. Well, it's Monday, so we're going to do a deep dive, and this time we're going to be looking at paint effects and brushes, and what we're going to do is we're going to create some dynamically growing trees. All right, here we go. Okay guys, well we're in my 2018, and as it's been a while since I did an FX tutorial, that's exactly what we're going to do today, right? Now, as the title suggests, we are going to dynamically grow some trees today. We're going to paint them on our grid right here, but if you have created, let's say, a landscape for your scene, hills or whatnot, and you want your trees to be on those hills, then you need to make that landscape 3D paintable. Now, I did a video on that. I'll put a link below, but just so you know, right? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go into the modeling menu, we're going to go up to generate, and then we're going to go to get brush, which is right here. Now, this will open up a menu that used to be called a visor, I think back in 2014 or something. Now it's called content browser, and in here you have all sorts of cool stuff. So you have animation examples, like for motion capture, right? You have FX stuff going on. You got, let's see, modeling stuff going on, but we're going to go with paint effects. So under paint effects, you have a whole assortment of stuff. We're going to go and use trees. And in this section here, you need to choose a tree, of course, that will suit you best. So what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to dynamically grow a tree. We're going to add some turbulence and maybe wind. So you want to have a tree with at least a number of branches and, of course, some leaves or you know, whatever will cool if you animate that, okay? So let's see. I don't know all these trees by heart, but I'm just gonna guess, and we'll do this guy, the tree leafy.ml. I'll just double click on that, minimize this, and as we do that, now my pointer has changed into a brush, as you can see. Now I can change the size of that brush by holding down B on my keyboard and left click and dragging and making that bigger or smaller. We're not going to go nuts here. Let's keep that fairly small. And then depending on the tree you have chosen, once you left click and drag, you will get either one tree or a series of trees, depending on your choice. So we'll see what we got this time, okay? So I'm going to left click and drag. And as I do that, you'll see that a number of trees are created, which is kind of cool. All right. Now, does that mean that you're stuck with this number of trees? No, because you actually have some control over that. So before we do anything else, I'm just going to make sure these are selected, and I'm going to hit Control A to open up the attribute editor. Okay. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to go and look at the sample density. Now, if I use this slider, I'm in stroke shape tree leafy 1, by the way. If I use this slider and push it to the left, you'll see that the number of trees becomes less, all the way back to 1. Or I can move it to the right and you will see that it will get a whole bunch of trees. So let's not go nuts here. For simulation purposes, we'll keep it fairly low. Let's maybe do one more. There you go. And then you have all sorts of other things you can do. You can play with the surface offset, you know, the draw order and whatnot. Okay. Now let's look at our tree leafy right here. Again, all sorts of things going on. For example, twists. You can put in a twist in the trees if you want to, right? You have the twist rate, you have the twist rand. Let's see what else. If there's anything cool that I need to play with. This is brush stuff. Texturing, shadow, glow, creation. Okay. Now creation is kind of cool. The minimum length, you can play with that. You can play with the maximum length. The tube width, you can change the whole look and feel of your tree, basically, okay? But I'm not going to go into each and every one of them. That's totally up to you to do that. Just so you understand it, you can, okay? Then we got growth here, you got branches. You can turn them off, you can turn twigs off, you can turn leaves off, and basically you'll have this left. Let's turn back on the branches, there you go. Turn back on the leaves. Now, why is that important? Let's say you have, I don't know, autumn or whatnot, and you don't want any leaves. You can turn them off. Cool, right? Okay, so we got all that, and let's get into the nitty-gritty. What we want is for these to dynamically grow, okay? So for that, we need to close a bunch of these menus, just for the simple reason that there's so many, and then at least I can see what's going on, okay? So, yeah, we're good. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to a tab called Flow Animation. It's under Treatly View 1. You're going to go to Flow Animation right here, and then you have a couple of options. What we're going to do here is we're going to select Time Clip, and as we do that, it will get rid of our trees because they haven't been born yet, they need to grow. I'll set the animation slider to, let's say, 400 frames, like this, and then we need to set the flow seed. Let's try 0.5 and hit enter. Okay. Now we're going to hit play on our keyboard and let's see what we get. And as you can see, they're dynamically growing. Now you're probably thinking, well, hey, what happened to my trees and why are they looking so funky? Well, this is a simulation. Once we convert this to polygons, it's going to look totally fine. Trust me. Okay. So there you go. So dynamically growing, kind of neat, right? Now, not quite there yet because I'm not satisfied with just the trees growing dynamically. I also want to add some turbulence. Okay, so let's close that down, and let's see, where is that? That's under tubes. So we're going to go to the tube menu, and we're going to go in here, and there's one called behavior, and when we open that up, we have one called turbulence right here. Now, under that menu, you can go in here, turbulence type, and we can go in here and select the tree wind. Now, when you do that, you can increase the value of the turbulence, of course. So let's bump that up. Let's not go nuts on that. Let's do 0.05. Okay. And let's jump back to frame 1 and let's hit play and see if they will dynamically grow and also have some effect by the wind. Okay, here we go. So they're growing, there you go. Let's see if our turbulence is doing anything. Yeah, it is. Kind of neat, right? And of course, if I set this to 0.1, a lot more turbulence going on. So if you have a scene, let's say a stormy scene or whatnot, and that's something you want to play with, then that's what you can do, okay? Let's set this back to 0.05, which is fine. Let's hit stop and jump back. So we now have dynamically growing trees and also have some turbulence going on. So the final step here is to go in and change them into something that actually looks like a tree, right? So I'm just going to play for a second here. There are trees. We're going to go up to our modify menu. And then we're going to go in to convert, and we're going to go to, where do you go? Paint effects to polygons. Now, you need to open up that option box, and here you have some choices to make. First of all, I want quad outputs. What I'll do is I'll go to edit and reset settings. So I want quad outputs. I'll select that. Here you can choose the poly limit. So how much polys do you want to assign when these are created? Okay. So 10,000 sounds okay for, was it 5 trees? And that said, let's hit convert and see what we get. Okay, now we're mid simulation or mid animation, so that's why it's looking this way. We're going to jump back to frame 1 and let's do a from scratch and see what we get. Not bad at all. Starting to grow. Turbulence is kicking in, and you can see that everything is working perfectly. Now, just because this is caching right now, just to show you guys what this looks like, I'll do a quick play blast. Hang on. Well, there you have it, guys. Kind of fun, right? Well, that's basically all there's to it, guys. There are a bunch of options you can play with if you want to increase the number of branches, leaves, and whatnot, but that's completely up to you, of course. So that's it for today's video. I'm going to be back Wednesday with another one, of course. Before I sign off, just want to let you guys know that the closing date for the 3D modeling challenge is November 15th. Okay, so there's still time. Really cool prizes to win. I'll put a link below, and if you got any questions, let me know. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye. Well, thanks for watching, and before you go, please hit that MH button to subscribe. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.